Hello and welcome everyone to new channel Crack-A-Pack. I've always been a huge fan of Magic. I spend time opening these booster boxes. I'm not a huge fan of buying singles to build my decks. Not a fan of the net decking strategy as they call it. And I figured if I'm gonna open these, might as well do it with an audience. Hopefully you guys enjoy this as much as I do. This will be the first episode by default. It's October, it's spooky season. I figured, what better than Duskmourn to get this channel started. I'm going to try and do these videos maybe weekly, every other week. We'll see what happens, but to get it started, I'm probably going to release this one and another video shortly after this, just to get a little bit of action on the channel. And we'll see where it goes from there. Always love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what I'm doing right, wrong, what booster boxes you want to see me open next. Or I'm sorry, play boosters now. But with that being said, let's get cracking. I was really excited when this set debuted. Love horror. Love the cards and themes that they did with this set. I will say this isn't my first Duskmourn booster that I've opened, but first one for the camera. Set this out here. Get started with the first pack. There's a lot of really fun cards. Some good value cards in here, although I'm not really looking to sell everything. Alright, tokens up front. Forgot we've got the rooms. So as we're running through those, yeah, we'll try to turn it sideways. I know a lot of these commons, uncommons, we're going to see a bunch of. So for the first few, I'll go slow. If you want to check out a particular card, go ahead and pause the video. I also didn't realize it was going to come up rares first. So that'll be interesting. You get to see the good stuff and then everything else. Alright, a couple of rares in that one, which is always nice. Plus we got one of the dual lands. Now I know they see some play. I'm not a huge fan of them. If you get it early, it's pretty much a tapped land. If you get it late and you're under 13 life, you might be losing anyways. Don't really see the appeal, but very budget friendly, so that's always nice. You got some art cards. Twitching doll is hilarious. I still haven't found a way to really maximize or enjoy playing the Manifest Dread mechanic, but that seems pretty interesting. Pretty powerful room there. Come Back Wrong is an excellent card. Oop. I guess we're gonna have to live with our mistakes. This is kind of a one recording deal, so hopefully you guys are okay seeing everything as it is. I just don't have any editing tools. Just me, my camera, and the packs. So as we go through this, we'll see what happens. Some things are going to be perfect, some things not so much. Maddening Hex, a very interesting card. I guess we're getting a couple of reprints and reskins in these, which is always nice to see. Yeah, I think they really understood the assignment with this set. You know, they had a lot of fun. If I remember correctly, there was some apprehension about this set when it was coming out. A little bit of advertising there, always nice to see. But I think they really understood what they needed to do. A little bit of Flash Surveil. Nice counterspell. And I think that most of the cards really felt like they belonged in the set. Nothing was too out of place. You know, the cards that were, they justified their existence. You know, something like Chainsaw doesn't really fit into Magic, but it was just too fun not to include. Like I said, this is the first video in what I hope is a long series and channel. But if you'll also remember, I said it's just me, my camera, and the cards. So at some point I may release what was intended to be the first video. But during filming I realized, as I think I'm realizing right now, that the video was set too long, so it sits sideways. So that's a little embarrassing. Hopefully we can figure out a way to rotate these when we upload them. Otherwise, that's 2 booster boxes down the drain. Get this channel started. Love these art cards. I know they're going away from them in the newer sets. Some powerful rares here. But I always like getting an art card. You know, feels a little bit better than a random zombie token for the 50th time. I guess if it's not playable, most people don't want to see it, so I forget exactly when they're doing away with them. Piggy Bank, another funny card. A lot of the fear of cards are really nice to see. Really not just fit with the theme, but you know, a good way to incorporate standard Magic into the horror setting. The Endurings were also very popular. I think a few of them saw playing Standard. I'm more of a Commander guy myself. But just the ability to come back as an enchantment, sort of evade those board wipes, but keep their effects in play. Very powerful stuff. I don't know what most of these cards are valued at these days. I'm not too big on selling my cards, although once I've gone through this, I'll probably sort out most of the duplicates and see what Card Kingdom's willing to give me. I figure with enough store credit, I'll be buying booster boxes from my booster boxes. You know, if that isn't making your money work for you, I don't know what is. But I'm not a trained professional, so don't take my investing advice, obviously. Nice little sweeper for the small creatures and token decks out there. Nice cantrip for green, or for blue. And of course the Terramorphic Expanse. Always nice in those budget-friendly decks for mana fixing. Ads on ads on ads, it seems. Can't escape them. This is a fun card I never really figured out how to use effectively. But always seemed interesting. Always felt like there was an opportunity there for a fun deck. Maybe not a winning deck, but you know, if you're not playing for money, who cares? Have fun with your friends. With some very fun cards in this one. The impending mechanic was cool. I don't think it ever caught on to anything that I heard of, but just the idea of something big and powerful lurking. Like I said, they really did a good job with this set, just kind of incorporating horror themes into magic mechanics. A nice, was it lore from back in the day? You know, not as powerful as every creature must block it, but still a good way to get something through if you need to, in the right situation. I'm sure someone's keeping watch as we go through this, but I feel like we're about halfway through. Unstoppable Slasher, another fun one. Insidious Fungus, always good card to see. Starting to see a lot of repeats on the commons. Upside down. Yeah, walk-in closet is huge for some decks. You know, the ability to play lands from the graveyard, especially after the commander for Edge of Eternities. You know, that really wants your lands going in and out, in and out. with the graveyard. There's not too many cards that give you that ability. So it's good to have a little backup. Some more mana fixing lands. Certainly not the best, but not the worst. I do believe those come in untapped as well, which is always huge. You know, I'm not a competitive player, but I never like seeing my plans slowed down by bad mana or... Always a fun card. And a bonus one. Alright. But yeah, sorry, not always a... Love this card. Built a deck around it that was pretty killer. Just a fun, easy, you know, keep it low to the ground deck. Great for token themes. But not always a huge fan of, you know, the most competitive, optimized deck. But if you're playing multicolor and your mana base just isn't working out, it can make for a frustrating game. So anything that kind of helps that or expedites that. Very cool commander possibilities there. Again, the fear of cards. Very on theme. We'll probably start to speed these up here a little bit. I know we're a very cool land. I know we're starting to get to the point where it repeats. Great for enchantment decks. You know, once you've seen your 5th possessed goat, you know, the commons don't look so exciting anymore. I gotten through most of those about 4 packs ago. Very good rare there. Probably won't pause to flip those anymore. I think that we've seen them at this point. I do wish they'd set these up a little better. I feel like I'm flipping or turning at least one card every time. But that's alright, we'll persevere and get through. Let you know when we're down to the last 3. We can really get the countdown going. Another comeback wrong. Always good to have those. I feel like they fit into most, if not all, black decks. I don't think anyone's going to be mad at a little single target creature control with a bonus. see why some people go with the collector boosters to open these. End up with a lot of cards. But you know, that just gives us a lot of time to talk. Hopefully get some interesting cards. Discover something new or exciting. This is another interesting card. And our old friend, the Possessed Goat. But yeah, as I was saying, this will be the premiere episode. Hopefully I can get it rotated, otherwise you'll be watching this sideways and screaming at me in the comments. But can't let a video go to waste. And also, this is the second time I've done this, so I guess a couple of these will be uploaded in a fashion that might not be the most popular. Just have to hope I can get the video rotated. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this, and we're going at it with minimal editing, no fancy equipment. So you just have to bear with me. But we'll work everything out and get better as we go. I think after this video, I'll upload another one pretty quickly. I never got a chance to really look into the Overlords, but some of them looked pretty powerful. And of course, there's going to be a few incongruities here, just because of which videos I'm uploading, how I want to upload them, and unfortunately I made some mistakes in some of these, so you might be saying the wrong thing, saying the wrong date. We'll see. Saying, yeah, the wrong booster pack is coming after this video. But what I'm hoping is that's part of the charm. You know, once we get towards the tail end of the booster boxes here, speed things up a little bit. We've seen the Daggermaw Megalodon a few times. Silent Hall Creeper's new. Gonna have to take a look at that one. But yeah, hopefully we can improve on, or I can improve on these videos. You guys continue to enjoy them, and you know, in a few years we will look back at the less popular videos with all this fun stuff in it still. Alright, down to the last three. Let's see what we can pull to finish strong here. Alright, little 5-color legendary. Exciting. The Hand That Feeds. I feel like we've seen a couple of these a few times. I always feel like they hide the good cards at the bottom of the boxes. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, superstition is superstition. Nice little sweeper. Especially if you're running something like a Convoke deck, you can control what creatures you do and don't have untapped. And last but not least, little shiny rare, Head Shredder. That's a fun last one. Got some pretty good cards in here. Alright, and in case you weren't keeping count, that is the end of our box. I want to thank y'all for joining for what might be the first, second, third, or fourth video at this point. Really gonna have to dive into editing and see if I can't get this switched to a vertical instead of a horizontal video. And if not, we'll put this in the blooper reels. But again, thank y'all for watching. This is Crack-A-Pack, and I'll see you for the next one.